Hello, welcome to another episode of This, That, and the Other. It's September 5th today, and next week the NFL will be back in full swing again. Hard to believe that football's back and the preseason is coming to a close. Hopefully the Ravens will get to the Super Bowl this year and win another one, and I can buy a third Super Bowl champion Ravens pennant. All right, upon looking at Huntsville history page today, an artist, I guess a photographer actually in Huntsville, had run across a couple of paintings at a thrift shop in Huntsville, and of a girl and boy from 1966, appeared to be high school or college photos. Anyway, I was going to go ahead and show. I told her I would go ahead and show the pictures on my show, see if anybody can identify them. The back of the painting said Royal Oak, Michigan, so these kids might be from Michigan, not Huntsville. Don't know for sure. Interesting how pictures like that end up in a thrift shop. Apparently, from what I understand, they were purchased from an estate sale, and then somebody dropped them off, and I guess had no use for them or something. But here's the picture of the girl right here. She looks like to be a senior in high school, maybe college photo. And picture of the boy. Looks to be a couple of years younger than her. I would guess that they're brother and sister. I'm not, I don't know. But if anybody knows who these people might be, or the photographer in Huntsville wants to return these pictures to the family that they belong to, and just thought I would go ahead and feature that. Okay, what I'm going to be talking about today is the first African-American man to become a four-star general. And I actually remember him when living in Okinawa. His name is Roscoe Robinson Jr., General Roscoe Robinson. I remember we lived at Rycom Plaza, and he lived up on the hill, had the big house with a garage and everything. No other houses had garages to them that I can remember seeing. But the commanding general would always live in that particular house. They had the dishwashers, all that kind of stuff. And I went to school with his son, his adopted son, Bruce Robinson. I remember him from Pacific Middle, from middle school. And here's an image of General Robinson, young Roscoe Robinson when he was a cadet at West Point, and then a picture of him when he was commanding general. I guess, I don't know if that has 4 stars on it, maybe when he's a 4-star, but I remember a picture similar to that in Okinawa, right here. And I actually met his daughter at an Okinawa reunion in Williamsburg about a year and a half ago. And a little history I found off of Wikipedia about General Roscoe Robinson. He was the first African American to become a 4-star general in the United States Army, born October 11, 1928 in St. Louis. He attended St. Louis University for a year and then transferred to the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1947. Graduated with a military engineering degree in 1951. He served in the Korean War in 1952 as a platoon leader and rifle company commander. For his actions, he received a Bronze Star. Came back to the United States a year later, becoming an instructor in the Airborne Department of the United States Army Infantry School. He then went on to graduate from the Command and General Staff College at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas in 1963. The following year, he received his master's degree from the University of Pittsburgh in International Affairs. In 1967, he served as a battalion commander in Vietnam. After Vietnam, he served at the National War College for 3 years as the executive officer to the Chief of Staff. He was promoted to Brigadier General in 1975, becoming commanding general of the United States Army Garrison Okinawa. In 1976, he was promoted to Major General and assigned to command the 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. General Robinson was the first African American to command 82nd Airborne Division. His final assignment was as U.S. military representative to the NATO Military Committee from 1982 to 85. After he completed 34 years of service to the United States military, retired in 1985. He was then awarded with a Defense Distinguished Service Medal and 2 Distinguished Service Medals. After his retirement, he was asked to look over a panel of people who were examining the Korean war performance of some highly criticized Army units. He also served on the board of Northwest Airlines. I remember he was actually on the board of Giant Food, too. I remember seeing that in the Washington Post several years ago, back in the 80s. He had a battle with leukemia, and he died on July 22nd, 1993, at the age of 64, and he's buried at the Arlington Cemetery. April 2000, there was a ceremony on dedication at West Point for a new auditorium named the General Roscoe Robinson Jr. Auditorium in his honor. The Roscoe Robinson Health Clinic at Womack Army Medical Center in Fort Bragg is also named in his honor. So, yeah, I do remember seeing General Robinson. He'd be driving up the hill, headed home in his little Japanese car. He'd wave sometimes. He was good with kids, I remember, and yeah, that's another one of the memories and another piece of history. And as always, thanks for watching.